Coming to you live from Cloud City, this is Bespin Media, and today we are counting down the top 15 Star Wars lightsaber battles. Now, before we get started, let's quickly define the criteria to make it on today's list. First, we are only considering live-action duels, so unfortunately, nothing from the animated series. Secondly, battles need to be between real characters, no forced projections or visions. And lastly, two lightsabers need to connect throughout the battle, meaning both opponents must be wielding lightsabers and not other weapons. Now that we have that settled, let's jump in to our countdown. Coming in at number 15 is Finn and Rey versus Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens. The lightsaber battle in this movie had so much potential. The original trilogy introduced us to lightsaber battles and made them cool. The prequel trilogy took things up a level with advanced choreography and CGI, and so when it was Disney's turn to produce a lightsaber duel, I had high expectations. The result was a letdown. My biggest issue with this fight is that it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Rey and Finn should not be able to beat Kylo Ren. Now, I'm okay with Finn making a sacrifice to hold off Kylo, but there's no way he should have lasted as long as he did. And I'm okay with Rey using a force power at this point in the franchise to help their chances. But given Kylo's training under Luke and Snoke and the power we see him have earlier in the film, the end result just doesn't feel right, and it diminishes Kylo's ability to be a serious villain throughout the next two movies. I feel it really should have been either Leia or Luke who steps in at the end of The Force Awakens to save Finn and Rey in a final battle with Kylo. At number 14, we have another sequel trilogy fight, Rey versus Kylo Ren in The Rise of Skywalker. Now, this is their Force fight, where they are able to battle each other despite being in separate locations. Again, this entry is coming in towards the bottom of the list because the nature of the fight just doesn't sit well with me. This Force power is one that I feel Disney tried to push into the sequels, and it just didn't work well. With number 13, we'll move into the prequel trilogy era with Qui-Gon Jinn versus Darth Maul. This is an okay lightsaber duel. It is our first look at lightsabers clashing in the prequels, and it's the first time we see Darth Maul ignite his saber. Ultimately, this entry is not higher up due to its brevity. It's a quick, simple fight, and I've always wondered if the good guys should have just stayed to fight. Darth Maul is only one person, and against him you would have two Jedi and a number of Naboo guards. Number 12. Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones. This is the first time we see this matchup, as we will get a rematch later in Revenge of the Sith. To me, this fight falls flat for a few reasons. First and foremost, it is a bit of a letdown after all the great lightsaber action from Phantom Menace. Secondly, while I understand Count Dooku's strength in the Force, he is not a compelling fill-in for Darth Maul when it comes to lightsaber fights. I think they could have done a better job at setting up Dooku's power throughout the movie to make it seem like it is supposed to be more of a challenge for Anakin and Obi-Wan. Lastly, while I was excited to see Obi-Wan and Anakin fight together, Dooku quickly splits them apart, so we really get to see two separate fights instead of a 2-on-1. Number 11, Rey versus Kylo Ren in The Rise of Skywalker. In my opinion, the battle on the second Death Star was the best lightsaber battle of the sequel trilogy. While I think it's the best of the trilogy, there are certainly far better duels throughout this whole saga. My main issue with this fight is that I find myself cheering for Kylo Ren, even though I know I'm supposed to root for Rey. After the previous movies, Kylo just doesn't seem like a serious threat to Rey. I also didn't care for the interference from Leia. In the original trilogy, we had seen Luke refuse to strike down Vader because he knows there is good in him. In the sequels, we see the opposite. Luke tries to kill his nephew for sensing the dark side in him, and then in the final film, we actually see Kylo get fatally stabbed by Rey as a result of being distracted by a Force call from his dying mother Leia. This is also the scene where we see Leia pass as well. I truly thought she deserved a better send-off from the sequel franchise. Number 10, Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku in Revenge of the Sith. At this part of the list, we are now at the duels that I can say I enjoyed watching. In this rematch between Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan, we see better chemistry and teamwork from the pair of Anakin and Obi-Wan. I also think that between the better CGI and stunt doubles used, Dooku looks more realistic and an actual threat to the pair of the Jedi. While Obi-Wan is quickly knocked out, this duel allows us to see how much stronger and powerful Anakin has become since Attack of the Clones. My favorite part of this battle has to be Palpatine watching and the parallels to the Vader and Luke fight before the Emperor on the second Death Star in Return of the Jedi. Number 9. Obi-Wan versus General Grievous. There was a lot of hype built up around the General Grievous character heading into Revenge of the Sith. I was excited for a new lightsaber-wielding villain after being disappointed with Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones. I think this lightsaber battle enhanced by additional character development of General Grievous, establishing him as a big threat, either through background on how he killed Jedi to take their lightsabers, or adding him to Attack of the Clones. It could have set up a better fight. Regardless, I enjoyed the concept of a lightsaber battle between a Jedi and someone who is not Force sensitive. While I did not care for the chase scene after the fight, this fight did give me some of my favorite Obi-Wan callback moments. One, of course, is the famous "hello there" quote, and the other is when Obi-Wan refers to the blaster as so uncivilized. Number 8, Yoda versus Dooku. This fight is both great and tragic because of its use of Yoda. Seeing Yoda pull out a lightsaber and head into battle after being enshrined as a Star Wars legend was a cool moment. This is the first time we get to see Yoda wield a lightsaber. However, once the fighting starts, it becomes a CGI blur. While I appreciate the fan service, I think this battle would make more sense if it was Mace Windu who came to save Anakin and Obi-Wan and confront Dooku. I understand that the relationship between Dooku and Yoda adds as well, but a Mace and Dooku fight would let us see Mace Windu in action while preserving Yoda as a wise master of the Force instead of a flipping CGI blur. Number 7, Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious. Since we don't get to see Mace partake in any lightsaber battles in Episode 2, this fight marks both the first lightsaber battle that we see Mace Windu involved in, as well as Darth Sidious. What I like about this fight was finally seeing Sidious in battle. We had seen Force lightning used before, but this is our first look at a lightsaber-wielding version of the Sith Lord. While Palpatine's ability to make short work of the 3 Jedi Mace brings along with him shows how much of a threat he is, it feels a little silly that the other Jedi can't hold up a better fight than they did. This fight is elevated by including Anakin's commitment to the dark side and saving Padme when he interferes to cut off Mace's arm. Number 6, Yoda versus Darth Sidious. Apart from Anakin versus Obi-Wan, this is a showdown that people were excited for heading into Revenge of the Sith. We did not see Sidious in action in The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, so it felt like there was a chance of things leading up to this. Yoda and Sidious are 2 of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy and some of the most iconic Star Wars characters, so seeing them clash is certainly momentous. While I personally feel this would have been a better face-off without lightsabers and using the Force and Force lightning instead, I did enjoy seeing these 2 giants go head-to-head. This fight does require some suspension of disbelief, because an old Palpatine with his hood on and a CGI Yoda moving the way they do does not look natural or real. Alright, we have made it to the top 5. Number 5, Obi-Wan versus Vader. This lightsaber battle is at the top of the list for many reasons. First and foremost, this is the lightsaber battle that started it all. This battle between Vader and Obi-Wan in A New Hope is the first time the world saw 2 lightsabers connect in battle. Outside of that, it is also the rematch between Vader and Obi-Wan after Obi-Wan chopped off Vader's limbs and left him to burn alive on Mustafar. At the end of the battle, Luke witnesses the loss of his mentor, which further propels him on his journey. While this fight is very simple and stiff as far as choreography, it is arguably one of the most significant lightsaber battles. Number 4, Obi-Wan versus Anakin. This is the battle that the entire prequel trilogy was building for. While the dialogue up front is not that great, the action and choreography are unbelievable. In my opinion, there is really only one other lightsaber battle with more impressive choreography throughout the saga. With the two Jedi in their prime going at each other and fire and lava surrounding them, this is one intense fight. The fight is also extremely significant because the outcome is what drives the physical transformation from Anakin Skywalker to the robotic Darth Vader. I get chills each time I rewatch Obi-Wan's final words to Anakin before collecting his lightsaber and leaving him to die. Number 3. Luke vs. Vader. The Death Star battle was an emotional and climactic ending to the original trilogy. While this fight brought us some good lightsaber action between Luke and Vader, it gave us so much more. First, it introduced us to Force lightning and demonstrated the power of the Emperor. Secondly, it gave us Luke's refusal to join the dark side and stand as a Jedi as his father before him. Lastly, this fight also gives us the redemption arc of Anakin Skywalker as we see Vader bring balance to the Force through the destruction of Sidious to save his son. Number 2. Luke vs. Vader. This battle on Bespin is amazing for a number of reasons. For starters, this is the first time we see Luke and Vader fight. We know that Luke is not fully trained, yet he goes into battle anyway to save his friends. This is also Luke's chance to confront Vader after previously seeing him destroy his mentor, Ben Kenobi. Within the saga, this is the second lightsaber battle that the audience is introduced to. It takes the lightsaber battle concept from A New Hope and builds upon it by adding more advanced choreography and the use of the Force. This sets the stage for all future lightsaber battles to come after it. But most importantly is the fact that this battle gives us the most iconic moment in all of Star Wars, the reveal that Darth Vader is Luke's father. It was certainly a challenge to narrow it down to a final top spot, but coming in at number 1 is Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Maul. While this fight may not be as iconic as the Vader reveal or ceremonious as Anakin's redemption, it is exceptional in almost every aspect of a lightsaber duel. It has an awesome villain in Darth Maul, it has incredible sound with John Williams' Duel of the Fates playing, the choreography is the best choreography within the entire saga, the stakes are real and tragic, as we see the death of Qui-Gon Jinn at the hands of Darth Maul. We see the character of Obi-Wan develop so much through this loss. And most importantly, as Dave Filoni has explained, this battle really is the duel of the fate for Anakin. While Qui-Gon's death occurs in the fight, this means that Anakin will no longer be trained by the father figure who believed in him and committed to train him against the wishes of the Jedi Order. But rather now, it'll be Obi-Wan who has agreed to train Anakin out of respect for his master Qui-Gon. How different the saga may have played out if Qui-Gon had not perished. Well, that's our countdown of the best live-action lightsaber battles. Until next time, thanks for watching.